Hello everyone, I'm Kamal Motwani and welcome back to my YouTube channel Kamal Motwani's. Today I'll solve another IELTS writing task 1. As earlier discussed in the videos pertaining to IELTS writing task 1, there are in total 7 types of IELTS writing task 1. I have already solved pie charts, line graphs, bar chart, process diagram and table chart for you. Today I'll solve IELTS writing task 1 pertaining to maps. In this video, the IELTS writing task is related to maps, and all the earlier solved IELTS writing task 1, the links of those writing tasks are given in the description box. You can also review and visit those videos as well. So let's read the statement given by the examiner. Here is the statement. Let's read it. The maps below illustrate the changes in the town of Riverside from 1990 to 2020. This is a 30-year period. Summarize the information by selecting and reporting the main features and make comparisons where relevant. So let's first see how maps are given by the examiner. I will discuss different examples with you, how different types of maps are given by the examiner, and how you can crack those maps while sitting in the real examination hall. So here are few examples that I have kept with me to illustrate in this video. Okay, here is the first example, and I'll be solving this IELTS writing task 1 pertaining to this map, but I will discuss other examples as well, as you must have the idea in case you are given other type of map, then how would you solve it. So in total there are three examples that I'll be discussing in this video. Okay, so here is the town named as Riverside in 1990 and the Riverside in 2020. There is a 30-year period gap. So you can see earlier there was residential area, then there was park, then there was main road, and with main road, across main road there are shops. After 1990, after a hiatus or gap of 30 years, Riverside in 2020 looks like there is a big residential area, there is a large park, there is an expanded road network, there are new residential buildings, and there is a shopping mall. All this information before and after, just we have to write in a paragraph format. That's how simply the maps are, the report or the essay regarding the maps are written in IELTS writing task 1. Let's see in an other example. Here is another example. Fretton in 1990 and Frenton in 2012. So Frenton is a town or city. Its map in 1990 and its map in 2012. You see, there are major differences. How the blocks of the flats here and here are houses. Here is a theater and here is a cinema. There is supermarket and earlier there was shops. So we have to draw out the major differences between these two maps, and we have to jot down these differences in the paragraph format. There are many other differences, like earlier there was a school, again in 2012 there is the same school there. So in with respect to school there is no changes, but earlier there was bank, now there is a restaurant. So there are these major changes that we have to narrate in the paragraph format. Okay, then we move ahead in other example which is very much necessary to discuss, and which is a bit distinct or different from these both the examples. So let's look at that example. So here is an example of Southwest Airport. This is after development, which means This is how Southwest Airport looks now, or this is the infrastructure of Southwest Airport now. And this is after development, which means this is the future plan of Southwest Airport. This is how Southwest Airport looks now, and this is how after the development it will look like. So this is the future plan. What is this? This is the future plan, and this is how it looks now. And an other thing to be noted here is that there are different signs like C, like B, then there is a dollar sign, and there are different signs. So the interpretation of these signs is mentioned here, like C for check-in, B for big drop, then there is a sign regarding a cup, this is cafe, the dollar sign for ATM, and so on and so forth, like 1 to 10 for 1 to 18 for gets. Whenever this type of IELTS writing task is given, particularly these kinds of maps are given, then you have to use for this is a present tense, because this is how the airport looks right now, and for the future development you have to use the future tense. And for the interpretation of the signs, there are the signs, the narration or the language to interpret the signs, this is also mentioned. So you need not to worry about it, merely you have to interpret it and write in a paragraph format. For instance, today the check-in place or the check-in board is here, and in future development plan the check-in or the check-in place or the check-in board is here. So this is how you have to write this, and you have to interpret it. So coming back to the map that we are going to solve today, uh, comprehensively, is a map pertaining to riverside. You can see this statement was pertaining to riverside. So let's interpret it, analyze it in a comprehensive way. So the directions play a major role. See, the directions are given as this is east, this is west, this is north, and this is south. So using the directions, when we interpret this map or analyze this map, we can easily locate what are the major differences. Okay, let's now discuss what is the structure of writing IELTS writing task 1. This structure has been discussed in each and every video which I have already recorded and uploaded on my YouTube channel. So first we have to write introduction, then we have to write overview or overall view, then we have to write explanation 1, explanation 2, explanation 3. This all depends on how many paragraphs do we want in our essay, in accordance with the feasibility of our time and convenience in the examination hall. And do notice that we do not write conclusion in IELTS writing task 1, because we already write overview in the second paragraph. So we do not write any conclusion in IELTS writing task 1. So let's move ahead and write the first paragraph that is pertaining to the introduction. The easiest way to write an introduction is to paraphrase the statement given by the examiner, which is this one. The maps below illustrate the changes in the town of Riverside from 1990 to 2020. Let's see how I have written the simplest and crisp introduction. The writing in the green ink is the introduction. Let's read it. The maps show the development of Riverside over a 30-year period from 1990 to 2020. Simply, I have used the synonyms from illustrate to show, and the changes to development, and this time period I have mentioned is a 30-year period. So this is the simplest way to write an introduction. Okay, then the second paragraph is particularly regarding the overview or overall view. Let's see how I have written this overview or overall view. But do notice that in overview we have to write the major changes or the major shifts that have occurred from 1990 to 2020 in Riverside. Okay, so see the major shifts from 1990 to 2020. So in 1990 in Riverside there was a residential area. However, in 2020 it was expanded. The residential area was much bigger. Then in 1990 there was a park, but after 30 years in 2020 there was a larger park. Then in 1990 there was the simple main road, but in 2020 it was an expanded road network. So it was a very big road. Across the road in 1990 there were so many shops, but after 30 years of development, then in 2020 there were new residential buildings and there was a big shopping mall. So see, there are these major changes which we have to write superficially in overall view, which gives the overall view of this whole the diagram or whole the map with the particular fluctuations or the shifts or the changes that have happened over the period from 1990 to 2020. Let's see how I have written overall view or overview of this map. The writing in the blue ink is overview. Overall, now this connector is very much necessary because it hints the examiner that candidate has written overview onwards. Overall, Riverside underwent significant transformation during this time, with notable expansions in residential areas. Now see, this is the expansion from this residential area to this expanded or bigger residential area. That's what I have written. Note with notable expansions in residential areas. Infrastructure improvements. Now, infrastructure improvements particularly refer to this small road to expanded road, or we can say small shops to a big shopping mall. And then I have written and the addition of new facilities. What was the addition of new facilities? These were new residential buildings. You can include park to a larger park in the infrastructure or recreational activities as well. This is how in the suitable and most accurate vocabulary how I have described my overall view or overview. It depicts all the major changes from 1990 to 2020. Okay, now after writing introduction, overview, then comes the turn for writing explanation 1, explanation 2, and explanation 3, and so on and so forth. It depends on us. Is in this map we have two maps, rather two the Riverside in 1990 and Riverside in 2020. Is there are two variables, or we can call there are two maps. So what we will do, we will write explanation 1 pertaining to Riverside in 1990 and explanation 2 pertaining to Riverside in 2020. So we will write third paragraph regarding explanation 1 and the fourth paragraph regarding explanation 2. So there we do not need to write any of the fifth paragraph or explanation 3. So we will not write any paragraph pertaining to explanation 3 because we have the information only regarding two maps. So explanation 1 is regarding Riverside in 1990 and explanation 2 is regarding Riverside in 2020. We will also apply the comparisons wherever they are applicable and wherever we can compare. So let's see how I have written paragraph third pertaining to Riverside in 1990, that is explanation 1. Let's read ahead. So here comes the third paragraph regarding explanation 1, which is of Riverside in 1990. You can again go through it before reading this third paragraph. Let's read it. In 1990, Riverside was a relatively small town with a few residential areas located in northwest. Now, as I already told you while describing these paragraphs, the directions are very much important, as directions are given as east, west, north, south. So this becomes northeast, this becomes northwest, this becomes southwest, and this becomes southeast. So the directions are very much necessary. So the direction of this residential area is this one, northwest. You see, northwest. So that's what I have written here. Riverside was a relatively small town with a few residential areas located in the northwest. Then a small park was situated near the north central part of the town. You see, small park was situated near the north central part. You see, this is the central part of the central part central part of the north side. So this is a small park which was situated here in 1990. Okay. And a single main road ran horizontally across the town from east to west, providing basic connectivity. So this is a single main road running from east to west. Now see how this road is providing the basic connectivity. This road is providing basic connectivity between all these things to these. So this is the connectivity that this road is providing. Okay, let's read ahead. Along this main road, a few small shops were located in the southwest part of Riverside. See, along this road, few shops in the southwest. See, this is the southwest part. You see, this is the southwest part where shops are located. This is how you write the information in the paragraph format, but do notice that you have pretty good knowledge about the directions. When you utilize this information in accordance with the directions, it impresses the examiner, and examiners uh, gets to know that you are well versed with the things, rather than writing there is residential area, there is a park, there is a small shop. The examiner will not give you band a good band at all. So you need to bring something into your writing task that impresses the examiner. So do utilize the directions very aesthetically. Okay, then we will write the last paragraph, that is explanation 2, and this is the fourth paragraph, and it is pertaining to explanation 2. This is the last paragraph of this task, and this is about Riverside in 2020. Let's read it. In this paragraph, I have also used comparisons wherever they are necessary. Okay, let's read it. By 2020, Riverside expanded considerably. Now, see here it is clearly visualized. You can visualize that it has expanded from this to this. Riverside has considerably expanded in 2020. The residential areas grew significantly, covering a large portion of the northwest. See, the residential area has expanded from this to this very big, but this is the northwest side. You can see this is the northwest. So this is northwest. This expanded residential area in the rivers in Riverside in 2020 is in the northwest side. Okay, let's move ahead. The park in center of the town was enlarged, providing more recreational space for residents. Okay, let's see park. So this was in the center of the town and it was expanded. There is written large park. You can see there is written large park. So you see park always provide recreational activities. So this type of vocabulary you must use it. I am repeating because it will leave a pretty decent impression on the examiner. So do use these type of terms or jargons. Additionally, or you can use the connector. Moreover, the infrastructure of the town improved with the introduction of an expanded network of roads, enhancing connectivity with riverside. You see, now I have mentioned this, that from small road to expanded road network. So this has improved connectivity between the between two sides of the road from this to this. Okay, then let's move ahead. Okay, then here comes a new shopping mall was constructed in the southeastern part of the town. See, the shopping mall was constructed earlier, there were shops, then shopping mall was constructed in Riverside in 2020. But what is the direction of the shopping mall? The direction of the shopping mall is southeastern part. You see, this is southeastern part of the town, replacing the small shops that were previously there, that I have already shown you. Let me show you again. Already there were small shops, but in 2020 there is a big shopping mall. Okay, then new residential buildings were also added near the town center. New residential buildings, there is an addition, the addition of new residential buildings. Here it is written new residential buildings, those were added in Riverside in 2020. Okay, indicating an increase in population and housing demand. Of course, when new residential buildings are made, it hints that the population is increased, more and more people are living in Riverside. That's why there is demand for this housing scheme or this housing uh, plan or these residential buildings. Now, see, this is the last paragraph of this IELTS writing task 1 pertaining to maps. This is how the maps are described and narrated in the paragraph format. These are very easy, only you have to understand, and you merely need to know what tense do we use in these. You see, these are both in the past, so we use past. But if we are writing about from past to present, then you will use past. And now for the present tense for now, if the two maps are, one is in the one is of now and other is the development plan, then you will use present tense for now and future tense for development plan. But these both were in the past, so we use past tense for the both maps. In case if you still have problems in the directions, then I am again uh, drawing it for you. This is east, but these directions are always given by the examiner. In case these are not given, even then you can use naturally how these directions are depicted: east, west, north, south. Now what does it becomes? This direction becomes northeast, this becomes southeast, this becomes southwest, this becomes northwest. Okay, now utilizing these directions, you can see how beautifully I have written the task and how beautifully I have expanded this simple diagram of the or these simple maps into a very beautiful language, and how beautifully I have narrated this using all the jargons from these directions, from the words like recreational or the space for residence, words like this. Or you can see here how I have used the structure of the sentence, the introduction of an expanded network of roads, you see, or the addition of expanded network of roads. This is how your language should be, and your language is something that will give you some extra bands in IELTS writing task 1. Okay, thanks for watching this video. I'll soon see you in another video.